Thank you all for being here today. Thank you all for what you have done for the TBA already and what you will do in leading your association, because it is your association, and that's the sort of the theme of what I'm going to carry through here this afternoon. I'm going to give you the overall organizational structure. That's the first piece I'm supposed to give you, the governance of the association. And then we're going to talk about our public policy process and how we arrive at public policy. Organizationally, of course, it does start with the members. We've got about 13,000 members. Continue to grow at a pretty good clip. Unlike many other associations, we continue to grow right through the recession, and the trajectory is good. We do that, we think, by maintaining relevance and by having great leaders like y'all to speak for us. Membership's divided up, as you can see from this chart, at about a quarter in East Tennessee, about a quarter in East Tennessee, almost 40% here in Middle Tennessee, and 19% in West Tennessee. That's roughly the same distribution, by the way, of lawyers in Tennessee. So it's not that we do any better in Middle Tennessee. It's just basically where they lie. Those members elect the Board of Governors, 27 members, who include the 6 officers, the Grand Division governors, the district governors, and then designated positions for the Speaker of the House, the young lawyer president and president-elect, the Judicial Conference, DA's Conference, Public Defenders Conference, all have seats on the Board of Governors. And that's the corporate board of directors for the association. Within that group, the president, president-elect, and vice president, they are directly elected by the membership at large, and are all those positions rotate through the grand divisions, so that there's one from each of the grand divisions at a time. Obviously, Bill will be, as president, from Middle Tennessee. President-elect is from East Tennessee, Jason Long, and the vice president upcoming will be Lucian Para from Memphis. There's also within the association the House of Delegates, and the House is our policy recommending body. It's a broadly based group of officers, 2 from each judicial district. And if you think about the judicial districts, they can be big and small. They're distributed, obviously, principally throughout less populous areas, with 4 representatives from each of the 4 cities, and 3 young lawyer representatives. They make recommendations to the Board of Governors on matters of concern to the profession, is what the bylaws say. So, and they meet quarterly in advance of the board meetings to give some advice to the board regarding policy issues. There's an executive committee under the board specified in the bylaws. The executive committee includes the principal officers, the immediate past president, the secretary, and treasurer. Those are the 6 voting members. But then the committee chairs of the board committees are on there as ex officio, as is the general counsel. So Frank, when he was on the board, was chair of the operations committee, and that was a non-voting member of the executive committee. Say what?
I think I voted anyway, but that's
He was a very influential member of the executive committee. That's right. We voted a couple of tombstones too, I think, Frank. The secretary is elected for a 1-year term by the Board of Governors. The treasurer for a 3-year term, and an assistant treasurer who's elected in the last year of the treasurer's term, so that there's a training period and continuity. Keeping up with our money is very important. And they're all elected by the board. The board also creates committees. In addition to the board committees that I mentioned just a moment ago, the other committees, Matt's the chair of the committee on the judiciary. There are about 12 or so committees that are often are seen as working as the service arm of the association and the board. The CLE committee is governed by, or the CLE program is has the advice and ideas from the CLE committee. Sections. That's where most of y'all have come from or will come from when you start in your role as chair. And the sections are everything from a business type to or practice type to practice area. So litigation or dispute resolution, Bob, or practice areas, real estate, health law, like Denise was is here to represent. So within the sections, the opportunities to serve are obviously executive council membership, CLE programs, communications, and advocacy. And all of those are possible areas that you want to explore within your section in terms of people to be involved. On committees, again, opportunities to serve on CLE or communicate and advising communications or an advocacy role. Public education committee doing civics education or any of the other multitude of things going on. Hey, Abby. So, organizational structure. I wonder if that little pointer thing is working. I think not. Huh? There you go. Oh yeah, okay. So again, the Board of Governors at the sort of center of stuff, elected by the membership. House of Delegates elected to recommend on public policy, and then the officers elected and board committees. Mentioned just briefly, we, as any good conglomerate would be, and only a structure the lawyers could love, we have both a foundation, which is a 501c3 recognized charity, and a for-profit corporation as part of our constellation, the for-profit involved in insurance sales, malpractice, and other kinds of insurance products to our members. They are those are both answerable to the Board of Governors. So the discussions of those at those meetings start off with they or we. There's not any distance between the two operations. They're just tax devices.